question, and it was a three-part question, but I'll answer two parts today and the third part another day. The first two parts are related to digestion, so I figured they'd be easy to put together. And then I did a quick video before I left for my husband's laboratory and found it wasn't so quick and easy to put together. So I'm doing a little introduction and I'll splice it into the video that I did for the food. So the question was related to indigestion and to stomach bacteria, and those are both really broad topics. So when you talk about indigestion, are you talking about occasional heartburn, or are you talking about GERD? And whichever it might be is going to respond to different things. But they'll both respond to peppermint and to ginger. They'll also respond to changes in your diet. So oftentimes people will take antacids to try to quell any kind of pain that they're suffering from, when in fact they're having problems because they don't produce enough acid. So, it's kind of counterproductive to take things that are going to make it more difficult to digest your food. So in that case, it's going to respond to apple cider vinegar, and that helps to create a little bit more acid, as does the ginger. And the peppermint is a carminative. That is something, and actually so is the ginger. They calm the digestive tract. So the other thing about GERD is if it's something that you're eating, you might want to pay attention. If you're eating something and then suffering, you might want to take that out of your diet, even if it's only temporarily. Take it out of your diet for a while and then maybe try it in a smaller quantity. It might be something that you simply can't eat. That's the way it goes sometimes, and it's unfortunate, but it's worth it not to be in pain. The other problem that relates to GERD, there are a couple of them. It's not just what you eat, it's how you eat it. Are you eating in a calm environment, or do you have a lot of stress and you're eating at your desk or eating in your car? Are you eating quickly? Are you not chewing your food all the way? All of those things can be problematic, as is how much you eat. So if you're eating too much and expanding your stomach to the point that when you lay down or even when you sit up, you start having acid spill up into your esophagus. You have this muscle at the top of your stomach that keeps everything closed up. But if you expand it too much, that's when you run into problems. So quantity matters, as does when you eat. If you're eating a lot before you go to bed and then you're pressing on that muscle, that can be problematic. So take a look at all of those things. Add some ginger to your diet or peppermint and see if any of that makes a difference. The other question as to stomach bacteria, don't know if you mean stomach, small intestine, or colon, because each of those are going to have different kinds of bacteria. If you've got bacteria in your stomach, chances are it's H. pylori, which is something that actually can lead to ulcers and other health problems. H. pylori responds well to garlic, and also it responds to onions and kale and berries, even responds to Pepto-Bismol. So those are some things that can be helpful for H. pylori. If it's further downstream, if it's in your small intestine, that's then called SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And that too responds to garlic. And the third place where problems can arise is in your colon, and that would be dysbiosis. If you have more pathogens than helpful bacteria or microbes, there can be problems in there. In addition to garlic, making some changes to your diet here too help. Any kind of prepared foods should be removed from your diet. Sugar, absolutely. Any kind of sweets should be removed from your diet. A lot of carbohydrates, not necessarily complex carbohydrates, but simple carbohydrates are the things that'll get you in trouble. Anything that turns immediately into sugar, that's what pathogens love. So all the way through, removing sugar from your diet, possibly look at an elimination diet, add some garlic to your diet. And if these things don't help, it's always, and probably the first thing I should have said anyway, is find a practitioner who can work with you to help you tease out exactly what's going on. You can have tests done to find out what the problem is, whether it's the indigestion or the stomach bacteria. And you can work with somebody one-on-one to see exactly what the problem is, because oftentimes I work with people that will be switching around different diets, and that's not at all unusual until we get to the point where we find relief. That's what you want, and that's what I hope for you. So these next two recipes are recipes that will not hurt, so I don't feel like this is a bad thing at all to talk to you about this. But do think about finding someone that you can work with individually, because that can make a real difference. So I wish you good luck and success in your journey. Easy recipe, two easy recipes, but I'll start with a nice green soup. So for the green soup, that's why the food processor's here, and I tend to touch it when I talk. I'm going to add to the food processor a small cucumber chopped up. I've got half an avocado, and here's the garlic. Now, if you can't have garlic, what you can do is slice the garlic and rub it around the food processor so you'll get the flavor of the garlic without the potential irritant. But I'm going to toss that in along with a packed cup of spinach. And another problem that people who have indigestion or heartburn can be that they're not producing enough stomach acid, in which case it would respond to apple cider vinegar. This is a nice organic raw apple cider vinegar, and I like to give it a shake so that I get all the stuff on the bottom into this. So I'm going to add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to this. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. If I had an onion, I would add a little less than a quarter cup of onion, but since I don't have an onion, I'm going to add a little bit of organic onion powder. I'm going to give all of this a whirl in the food processor. So the medicinal thing in here is the garlic, and this is full of potassium between the spinach and the avocado, so this is really a nice, healthy, easy meal or snack. Oh, I'm also going to put some rosemary in it, because I like to flavor things. And I went outside and I cut this. And rosemary is another thing that actually is also medicinal. There are studies that find that smelling rosemary, when you have to take an exam maybe, can help you with remembering things. It also has been found to be helpful for people as they begin to perhaps cognitively decline, to have more rosemary in their diet. So there it is. Now I will spare you the noise. Here's how our beautiful raw green soup looks. Some people use it as a dip because it's really thick, but this is full of all kinds of nutrients, and you can see it can make a very hearty meal. It's more like it's pretty much a salad, a food processor. You could put it in the blender and really make it very smooth. But I pulled the food processor out to give you a second recipe, and that one is a smoothie. And for my base, I made some green juice. I just juiced a couple stalks of celery and some spinach. And if you don't have a juicer, you can just toss all the ingredients. Well, I wouldn't toss the celery into a blender. I would toss some spinach into the blender with half a cucumber. And I'm going to cut this cucumber in half and then cut it into a couple pieces. Toss that in. Toss in, this is, looks like about a half a cup of juice. Eee. To that I am adding mint. And this is beautiful fresh mint, peppermint, and little piece of ginger. All goes in. So here it is. Really nice looking green juice. So this is very soothing if you have indigestion, and that's because of the peppermint and the ginger. Those have a very beneficial reaction on the stomach. They're very soothing. And for the SIBO, we've got the garlic. Actually, just about everything responds to garlic. So garlic is going to be, it'll attack H. pylori if that's what's going on in the stomach. It will also help to decrease bacterial overgrowth, whether it's through dysbiosis or displacement in SIBO. But if you have these problems, it always helps to get some help from somebody who knows what they're talking about and can work with you one-on-one. So find an herbalist, find a nutritionist, find somebody who knows how to help you figure out what's going on and also help you get the treatment that you need so that you can feel better. But these will not hurt you. So I don't feel bad giving you these kind of recipes, but I do encourage always, whenever there's anything going on, you get some help, and you know, it's just going to be better for you. So that's all I have for today, and I will be back another time with more information. So give these recipes a try. They'll be on my website, and enjoy.